Hey folks, and welcome back to Pattaya. I am on soy 13.1 right now. It's early in the morning. I'm at my friend's bar here. There she is, and we're going to meet a group of people here. You see, her bar is closed, as are all the others on this day. So once everybody gets here, we're going to pile in cars, and then I'll show you what we did. All right, so today is the Big Buddha Day, the first one of the year, and there's about, I don't know, 4 or 5 of these during the year. The Big Buddha Days, the bars are closed. There's no alcohol sales. So my friend down on 13.1, she's packed up some of her staff and some of her friends, and we're going out snorkeling. We're in Sattahip. We're at one of the many piers down here. There's many piers on the peninsula here at Sattahip. Not that far from where we got the great big ferry to go all the way across the Gulf. But anyway, this is a small pier here for small boats. And we're supposed to be doing a spot of snorkeling. So everybody's gearing up. We'll get some energy here. There's some food, some shrimp, some chicken. I guess we'll eat up and then head out to sea, and we'll see what it's going to be. I don't know. I have no idea. A little bit disorganized, but we'll get there. We got to get on the boat. The pictures are done. We thought the boat was there. It's here. It's there. Everybody's back and forth. We're getting on the boat now. So right, we got to load up on the boat here with all our gear. Now, I'll show you exactly where we are here on the map. We're down in Sattahip at all these little piers you see there, and we're at the kind of the last one down right there. It's a place called Nietzsche Snorkeling. And if you go to their map point there, all these photos are from there. That's photos people have uploaded from their map point right there. You can kind of see what we're in for there. So what's this cost? It's 600 baht per person. And that includes your gear and the boat ride and all that. There is one other little fee to pay that we'll go over next. Doesn't include anything to eat, but they do have bottles of water for you to drink there on the boat. But let's get all geared up on the boat and head out there, and we'll see what it's going to be. We're on the boat. Finally. I believe some of these islands are owned by the military. You got to pay, or they're like parks. But I really think it's kind of military land. They do let you on 50 baht a person for this boat load to have access to the island, to dock the boat here, and to play around and snorkel. So that's a thing as well. That's what he's doing now. He's over there paying. So not a bad place to have your office over there under the shade trees of a kind of a private, secluded island beach. That 50 baht a person, I don't believe that is covered in the 600 baht. That's what I meant. There's another fee to pay. But then they take you for pictures. They'll kind of park the boat with a scenic backdrop there of a shore, and they want you to take pictures, or they take your picture. They do have a photographer on board. That'll be a reoccurring theme. So I took some pictures. These are the pictures I took, and maybe lasted a little bit longer than what I would have liked to see. But finally, we get underway to where we're going. So here we are. They dock right at this beach, and a couple of the crew can show you how to use the snorkeling equipment. So don't worry if you've never been, or first time or whatever, they can show you how to use it. It's real easy. I learned this, I don't know, wow. I think the first time I went snorkeling was on some little island off the coast of Panama in 1989. Anyway, It's kind of all the same kind of fish here. Not a whole lot of big variety in fish, but the ones with stripes. I'll show you. I got some fish footage. I mean, in areas there's plenty of fish to look at. It's a little rocky, really rocky, like the first maybe 3 meters out to sea, and then it's nice and sandy. If you've got those special shoes, which I have and didn't bring, by the way. The special like slip-on shoes for walking in the beach and rocks and stuff like this that protect your feet, because it's kind of brutal barefooted, but you really can't do it in flip-flops. You need some kind of shoe, or maybe if you just got an old pair of shoes to get onto the beach. But really, some of the people won't even come up on the beach. They just come and go off the boat and do their snorkeling. They're all out there. They have the life vest, and you can float around. That's good for the kids. But really where they're doing it is maybe up to my chest or something like that. It's not that deep. If you go out a little ways, though, it does get deep. But then you might get in more of the sea urchins and things like that. But this is the place. So we came, there was about 4 boats, 2 of them left. And then we had kind of the whole area to ourselves, and 2 more came. So it's going to be one of those things coming and going all day. It's supposed to be a total of a 3-hour tour. And we did the whole picture thing. I mean, if you have your own group and you don't want to take the pictures on the boat, you could probably just tell them that and say, hey, let's go to the fun park and start the snorkeling, and we can skip the pictures, because that probably ate up at least a half hour. But anyway, that's part of the reason people go. A lot of the Chinese tourists, I was telling some of the guys with the group, that's all they do. They go from one place to another taking pictures of themselves having fun. Well, they're just taking pictures. That's the fun. They don't do a whole lot else while they're there. Take the pictures. Once they got the pictures, they're out. The clientele here, I would say upper 90% Thai. So I don't know that there's a lot of Western tourists that make it down here for this kind of thing, because they do have things like this closer to Pattaya, closer to tourist areas. But I don't know. I think the experience here might be a little better. 600 baht a person isn't going to break the bank. If you got a big group, maybe you can get your own boat. I don't think they charge by the boat. They just charge by the head. There it is. Not much of a beach, and I guess the tide looks like the tide is pretty much in, judging by where it's landing on the beach here. So if you come in low tide, it might be not as much water here, but beautiful out here. All I can see throughout here, I don't know if it comes out, but all I can see is just islands. I just look out and peppered with all these little islands. Some of them are no bigger than a boulder sticking out of the water, and some are pretty sizable islands. But like I said, I believe they're military, and you're not really allowed on them, with the exception of this, where they allow people to come out and snorkel once you pay your park admission fee or whatever that is. You can even see the sign up here. I'll show you. There you go. Restricted area, Royal Thai Navy. So even though you can come here to the island, I still don't think they want you traipsing around into the interior of the island so much. They basically just want you kind of on the beach and in the water doing your snorkeling. So yeah, who knows what's back there? Secret military stuff, so keep out. So what I did is I pulled out my maps and I took some snapshots of the screen. I'll show you, which indicates my current location. Or I'll zoom it out so you can see where it is in relation to Pattaya. But nonetheless, you can see we're kind of right down here off the coast of Santa Hip on a little island surrounded by other little islands. Up out of the beach, the little island beach area, and we came over here kind of right next to this big rock formation, which also I guess counts as an island. And the water is much deeper here. You really need the life vest. You can't touch the bottom, and the gear, the flippers and all that. And then you can they do have some buoys. You could like grab onto one of the buoys or whatever. But I think maybe more fish out here and clearer water, but just another stop. And of course we have some neighbors. It's like follow the leader out here. Once one boat pulls up, a couple other ones. But it's quite a different scene from the last time. So I fed some fish. I'll show you. I fed some fish. There's
tons of them out here, but they're all almost the same. The kids say they're looking for the Nemo fish. A couple said they saw it. I did see one big one in there, like the guy had caught in the net at the last place with big spots on it. They almost look like welts. There was one of those I actually saw here swimming around, but not much variety, but it's still pretty cool. Anyway, I don't know if there's multiple stops or if this is it. I thought the beach was it, but this was a whole nother stop I'm getting dripped on. I might just go in for a swim.
And go for a swim I did. The water was cool, very nice, very cool, very clear. Now, I mentioned earlier there about a photographer being on board. One of the crew is actually a photographer. He has a real underwater camera. Unlike me, I just have my iPhone. But look at this. So I thought this was one of the better pictures of the day. I thought that was a very good picture. And you can see there's the Nemo fish. So I guess you could say on this trip we found Nemo. But anyway, I think that's a clownfish maybe. So there are different species out here. There are coral. The crew did a great job. That's a couple of the guys there. They've got the camera. They've got the guy showing you how to use the gear. Of course, the skipper of the boat. So we had a great time, but now it's time to go. So there you go, back to shore with the bars closed. This is what we did that day. A little snorkeling down in Satahip at some of the military islands. A fine choice. You know, your options here are basically only limited to your imagination. There's many things to do. Many trips like this you can go out for the day. And it was a good time. Everybody enjoyed it. So I'm sure next time we will do something else right here in Pattaya. But for this episode, I'm going to have to go ahead and leave it off right here. And as usual, I'll thank you for watching. And until next time, bye for now.